I'm embarking on a journey to grow a successful online business so I can break free from my 9 to 5. The question is, how will I do it? Find out right here on the Purpose Driven Funnel Show, where you will get an insider's view as I interview experts who have succeeded. I'm doing it because my why is bigger than my 9 to 5. Life is meant to be a joy, not a chore. Will you join me? Wow, have I got a great show for you today. Steve Penny, who is my business coach, if you remember, he's going to come on and talk about the funnels business model and give you some information, kind of stuff that I learned from him when I first met him. But before we go to Steve here, I want to tell you a quick story about how we met. So it was a little more than a year before I met Steve. I hit the bottom of the barrel in my life. I was pretty depressed. I was barely getting through life at a job I hated because I really wanted to get out. I really wanted my own business. I gained like 50 pounds. I stopped exercising, and so I lost a good fitness level that I used to enjoy. And I had just zero motivation left in me, and I was just clueless about what to do. Then, out of the blue, I remember hearing somebody talk about online affiliate marketing as an income stream. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me because it was something I felt I could do. And I knew that there was little overhead compared to a traditional business, but there was a problem. I had no clue how to do it. So I knew I needed to get someone who knew how to execute it to help me out. What that meant was I needed to find somebody that had done it before, somebody that could coach me. And I just knew I wasn't going to be able to do this alone. I had tried a few times in the past few years before and just completely failed. So I made a phone call to that guy that I remember talking about it. His name is Jerry Robinson. And I wanted to find out some more information. So I went to his website, I got his phone number, because I've been listening to his podcast show for a long time. So, I was familiar with him. So his show is primarily about trading stocks, but he talks a lot about online income. So I also knew that he had said he had coached people on how to do that before, how to make online income. But I didn't know if, first of all, he was still doing it. And secondly, if I could even afford it, because I know that when you're talking about hiring somebody to coach you, a personal coach, it's going to cost a ton. It's just not cheap. But I had no clue, and I had no plan. So I took a chance. I dialed the phone number. I decided to call anyway. So, what did I have to lose, right? The worst that could happen is you would say, "Yep, sorry, I don't do that anymore," or the price is like $10,000, and I'd say, "Okay, thanks, goodbye." But anyway, so I had to call and find out. So when I called, I got something I never expected. Jerry didn't answer the phone, but some new guy named Steve. I was like, in the back of my mind, I never heard of this guy before. I don't know who he is. So I started talking to him a little bit, and I told him, what I was interested in, seeing, I wanted to see if Jerry was still coaching people on how to make online income. And that's when he told something that blew me away. He said that he was working with Jerry right then, and they were just about to start a brand new program, and it was all about how to make online income with something called funnels. I had never really heard of funnels before that. I'm like kind of asking some questions, and we got into this really deep discussion about what funnels are and how to create this online income. So since I've got Steve here with us on the show today, I'm going to let him share everything with you. All right, so Steve, he's my funnels business coach, and as I said, we've got him on this show today. He's the one that got me started with the funnels business. He and I meet pretty regularly about the business progress that I'm trying to achieve, and helps me strategize and things like that. So thought it'd be good to bring him on the show and to kind of help you guys understand a little bit about that phone call that he took from me when I called Jerry up that day, and he kind of explained this funnels thing to me. So it's kind of want to welcome you, Steve. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, Sean, having me. It's a real pleasure to be on with you.
Hey, Steve's a certified ClickFunnels coach. He's also an expert funnel creator and an online marketer. He's owner of Makers Group Media. He also manages online marketing funnels for other businesses too. So hopefully, you'll be able to help us understand a little bit more about this funnels business today.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Awesome. So let's just start off real quick with, tell us what is a funnel? What do you mean when we say funnels?
Yeah, it's a great question because I guarantee you almost everyone has been in a funnel before. You visited a website that's a funnel. It just you don't hear it called a funnel too often. If you're not in the marketing, if you're not into online marketing. So basically, what a funnel is, it's kind of a smart series of web pages that are designed to take the visitors to your web page to the specific actions that you want them to take. It's kind of like a good analogy, I think, is recently I went to buy a suit, and I don't buy a lot of suits, so I don't know much about it. And the first place I went to was kind of like this big warehouse, and I walked in, and I had no idea where to start. I was kind of wandered aimlessly around there for a little while, and ended up leaving empty-handed. But to me, that's a traditional website. Where a funnel is kind of like a guided tour. So the next place I went to, I think it was like a men's warehouse or something. But anyway, someone was there to greet me at the door. And that person asked me what I was looking for. And then based on my responses, they guided me around to the specific places that were, met my needs. And I ended up, purchasing, everything I needed from them. So that's kind of the analogy between a traditional website and a funnel. A funnel is a guided tour to take you to specific actions that you want your visitors to go to.
Awesome. That sounds good. So you're kind of really with a funnel, you're kind of hoping that, you're guiding them in a certain direction rather than take them to your traditional website and hope they click the right menu or the right product and, buy the stuff that you hope that they buy. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, every web page, you as the business owner, I'm sure you have a specific goal, something you want people to do on your website.
Sure.
So funnels each page has one specific goal, and you guide them right to that, action that you want them to take, as opposed to giving them 50 or 100 different options, and then they go down all these paths that you don't really want them to go down.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what kind of things do people usually do with funnels? I mean, what are the possibilities with them?
Yeah, that's such a common question, and I'm glad you asked it. Basically, if you own a business and you either generate leads or you sell things, a funnel would be a tremendous asset for your business. So funnels can be used in literally any kind of business, whether you're selling physical products online, whether you have a brick and mortar store, whether you sell an online digital product, or even someone else's product, if you're into affiliate marketing or even network marketing. Basically, any kind of business, can use a funnel.
Gotcha. So if you sell a service or a product, you can have a funnel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And something I should have mentioned before, what a funnel allows you to do too is some people can go way down in the weeds on all these metrics in online marketing, cost per acquisition, cost per lead, all these things there, and it can make your head spin. But basically what a funnel does is it increases the average cart value, and your the average revenue per visitor to your website. It's just exponential compared to a traditional website. So I think your question was, can all businesses use it? Yeah, absolutely.
When you say average cart value, just mean like they buy more stuff, or the price that they end up checking out with is more than a traditional website?
Yeah, exactly. And like back to that suit analogy, because I was on a guided tour, for example, the guy showed me the suit, chose that, and then he showed me things like a belt. We call these upsells online, a belt that would go with it, shoes, socks, all these little upsells that increased the cart value. That's a brick and mortar exam, funnel will do the same thing. You can do upsells and downsells based on the specific actions they take, where a traditional website just can't do that.
So it's kind of like, do you want fries with a hamburger? You want to
exactly
supersize your Coke, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's an upsell. McDonald's does it, or all the fast food chains do. You want fries with that. You want to biggie size it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, one of the questions, of course, is really common. I'm sure you've heard it a million times too. What kind of skills or technical abilities does somebody need to get into this funnels business, to be able to create one and put one out there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I never want to say it's easy, because it's not easy. You have to put a lot of thought into it, into the strategy. But as far as technical skills, I can honestly tell you, you don't have to be that tech savvy. I'm certainly not. I didn't go to college for anything like this. I'm a pilot by trade, and the software that we use makes it very doable for pretty much anyone to do this. It's, for the most part, grab, drag, and drop. And I'll mention it wasn't always like that. The software and the tools that are available now are only coming on the market in the last 3 or 4 years. Prior to that, it would cost $10,000 to $15,000 to build a funnel, and after all that expense and time, it would take a couple months to do it. You wouldn't know if it would work. Now you can build one in an afternoon, and if it doesn't work, you just go build another one. So the technical skills, you don't really need to be any kind of tech genius or tech guru to build successful sales funnels.
Oh, that's awesome, because I know back in the day I didn't really do it, but I've heard a lot of people talking about needing to be able to do HTML coding and all kinds of other scripting and stuff like that, be able to put images and do design and all that stuff. But what you're saying is now it's really more of what you see is what you get kind of editor environment, to where none of that stuff's really necessary, and it's kind of quick and easy, already almost done for you, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. I know you have those skills. You're pretty computer savvy. I'm not. I don't know how to do any of those things you just mentioned, and I've made pretty good money doing this. And to me, it's one of it's kind of the definition of passive income. Where you put a lot of work in up front, you design a system, and then you can move on, and you no longer have to trade your time for money. And
right, absolutely, that's a good goal.
Yeah.
So let's just segue into, then let me ask you, what was it? What was the reason that you decided to get into this funnels thing? What was your big why?
So my why is that and I feel called to do Christian ministry, but I just don't feel led to go work for a church, to collect my paycheck from a church or any kind of ministry organization. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I feel like that's totally legit. But for me personally, I just don't want to get a paycheck for it. So I set out a few years ago, my wife and I, to create sources of residual income that would give us the time freedom to pursue the things we feel like we're called to in life, and also to homeschool our kids and have the time freedom to do that. So what I found was, for me, 2 vehicles that could take me to that desired destination. One is trend trading. I like to trade stocks and commodities. And the other one is this online marketing niche, specifically using funnels. So to me, those are the 2 ideal vehicles to take me to that destination of complete time freedom to pursue the things I'm called to in life, and to spend more time with my family and help homeschool my kids.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are kind of in the exact same boat there, man. I mean, I got into it because I was looking for, a way to do basically what you say. I've got a purpose in here in this earth that God put me here for, and sometimes I just feel like when I'm working for somebody else, I just can't really devote much time to doing that, and it really bothers me. Not to mention, I've got a new daughter now. She's almost 8 months old. And, I want to homeschool her. I don't want to put her in a traditional school system, and I want to be able to be there for my family as well. So it's, I think our whys really are almost very identical.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the first time you called. I guess in the previous episode, it sounds like you told your story how you called Follow the Money, and I answered, and I could tell right away that you and I were going to get along well, and I was hoping that you would get involved with this. Of course, I never pressure anyone, but I could tell you and I had a lot in common right from that first phone call.
Yeah, it was definitely a call that took me by surprise, as I was not expecting what you were describing to me now. Because as I said before, I was calling for Jerry because I knew that he had taught some affiliate marketing before, but I didn't know what a funnel was. I had no, it's more than just affiliate marketing, obviously. So no, it's been a real eye opener for me, I tell you. So speaking about that, who would be, or what kind of person would be the ideal student? I mean, is there any particular type of person that may be more apt to be more successful at this than others?
Is about who the ideal student and person would be to get involved in this. And, over time, I've coached about 30 people now. And some of the people who I honestly thought maybe wouldn't do so well went and did exceedingly well. And others who I thought would do well maybe struggled a little bit. But really what I think anyone can succeed in this, and the two big things are the work ethic and not giving up. Because very often your first funnel, it might succeed, your first one. You might make a lot of money in your first one. But very often it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 or 6 tries or more than that before you start making money. But there's a saying within our community, we say you're just one funnel away. Just one funnel away, because it just takes one profitable funnel to literally change the course of your life. And I honestly believe that anyone who sticks with it long enough will find that one profitable funnel, and it will change their life. So it's just a matter of having the persistence, the resilience to stick with it, and willingness to learn. And it's really not that difficult. It's not overly hard. It's just a matter of sticking with it and having good work ethic.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, because I'm really wanting to make this thing work, obviously, and you being there by my side, being able to help me out through this has been a huge bonus for me, because that reason I made that phone call is because I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I tried before a bunch of times. I didn't really have the knowledge that I needed. Even though I knew how to develop and do all those things, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to execute it. I didn't know anything existed like what you had told me about. So it's pretty awesome. But and you said it could change somebody's life, really, and I can totally see that. So talking about that, what kind of income can somebody expect from doing this, and what would be like a realistic expectation for a time frame to kind of really get going good?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people out there who will tell you, you can make $1 million or $1 million plus, and that is possible. It is certainly possible, but it's not realistic in the near term for most people. Unless you've already got an established business. I mean, if you've got a business that's already into the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year or up to 6 figures, you can rapidly scale an existing business. But if you don't have a business, you don't have a product to sell, you don't have an affiliate program to promote, we think a good yardstick is to shoot for $1,000 a month of residual income after 12 months. Some people will take longer than that. Some people might get there a little bit sooner. But I think that's kind of a good realistic goal. With that, it's worth noting that it's much more difficult to go from $0 to $1,000 a month than to go from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. Because to go from $0 to $1,000 a month, you have no experience, you have no idea what you're doing. Once you go from $0 to $1,000 a month, it's just a matter of refining what you've already done, optimizing and scaling what you've already done. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, I don't know about you or anybody out there listening, but $1,000 a month would do me a lot of good right now. It'd make a big difference in my life. And so what you're saying is once you get to that level, from there it's just doing the same things over again to scale it up and go exponentially to whatever. Basically, is that about right?
Yeah, that is right. And once you've done it once and you've built one, and you've scaled it, there's nothing to stop you from going and building another one. and then another one. And it just becomes a question after a certain amount of time, how many of these things do you want? Because they almost run on autopilot. I mean, you don't want to make it sound too easy. Once you have one built, maintaining the funnel is often minimal work, a couple hours a week.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. So, somebody getting started with this whole thing, somebody that says, hey, I like what I hear. I like this funnel thing. It sounds like it's good for me. What would be one thing or your best piece of advice that you would tell that person that they should do if they wanted to start something like that?
Check out your website, salesfunnelpromo.com, if I remember right.
Right, yeah.
But I guess the biggest thing I would say is I talk about funnels way too much, and my wife will tell you that. She's always like, stop. You need to stop talking about funnels. But out and about in a life, we're at social gatherings, I find myself talking about funnels, and a lot of people are really into it, and they're really interested, but very few people take any follow-up action. So I would say if you're someone that this kind of resonates with, go investigate further. Do some homework. I think you can even get like a 14-day free trial to the software Sean and I use called ClickFunnels. So I would say at least go to investigate, take an action step. You don't even have to spend any money to investigate further. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, good advice, because I'm going to tell all you guys out there, take that advice and say, don't wait until it gets too painful. I mean, that's where I was at. I was in a place where, I kept putting stuff off, thinking I was going to have another idea, or something better would come along. I could do it by myself. I'm a guy of ideas. I have all kinds of ideas. I always have. I've tried lots of stuff and it failed. But don't wait till you get out there and and you're so much pain that you don't like where you're at, that you just need to get out now. Because it's, as you said, Steve, it's not a get rich quick thing. It's not something that happens overnight. I mean, there is some work you got to do. It does take a little bit of time, right?
Yeah, it does. And another thing I'll mention too on that note is a lot of people hear the phrase online marketing and they think scam.
Right.
They're thinking scams. Yeah. And of course there's plenty of that out there, but the way to make a long-term residual income is to serve people, to provide value to people, to help them. And, that's how you build a long-term business online. That's how you build a residual income that lasts. And, it's how you sleep at night as well. So, yeah, none of the things Sean and I are doing, it's all about serving people, helping people, providing value.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about this whole thing is, when I finally came to my senses and realized I can't do it by myself, it's really taken on. I mean, I've got a lot more hope than I've ever had in the past. I just feel like I've got a lot more momentum, and I just know that it's right there. It's on the cusp. I can almost feel it. It's just, take another step until it finally shows up. But I know that it will show up. I just having that community and having your help, obviously, it's been the biggest difference, I think, that this has made for me.
Yeah, and I think you're just getting started. I'm just getting started. To me, this is kind of like funnels are like a websites were 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, everyone was saying, what's a website? It reminds me of that, I don't know if you guys saw this, it was like the Good Morning America show. It was like Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel or something. They're like, what is internet? What is internet? Back then, imagine getting into websites back then. Now every business needs a website, right? I feel like that's what funnels are now. The people who are learning these skills are on the cutting edge, and compete in the coming years. And just learning a little bit of these skills now is going to serve you well for decades to come, I believe.
So what you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, Steve, is that we're right now where we are with the funnels business and the industry, and we are like it was about 15 years ago with websites, when everybody was just starting to take a real interest in it and realizing, hey, this internet thing, I need to get my business online. Is that pretty accurate as far as what you're saying? Basically, we're in that beginning stages with funnels.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm one of the certified partners with ClickFunnels, and there's about 100 of us. And ClickFunnels gets calls all the time about, hey, I know I need a funnel. I don't know how to build one. Can you send me to someone? So I get calls all the time for businesses. They don't even know what a funnel is, but they're savvy enough to know they need one. And I think
Right.
I think that that trend is only going to continue. I was just getting my haircut a few weeks ago, and of course, I'm talking about funnels to the to the gal cutting my hair. It comes up, and the gentleman sitting next to me, I walk to him, but it turns out he's a doctor, and he just heard the word funnel, and he's like, "I know I need one of those," and he's asking me what it is, and we get his business card, and um, so all that to say, yeah, we're still at the cutting edge of this, and I can't think of a more valuable skill to learn. Honestly, I say if my kids are little, but if they wanted to learn this skill rather than go to college someday, I mean, I'd be fine with that because I know how valuable this can be.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of went down that same road. I mean, I was at a crossroads and I knew I needed to get something done because I needed some more income. And, I followed the traditional path, went to college, and recently, last year, I started my MBA program because, I needed something that I could count on, right, that would increase my income. And once I got into this funnel thing and I found out about them, like you said, I mean, I saw the value in it. I quit my MBA program because that's how much I believe that this is going to work for me. So I'm not spending that, tens of thousands of dollars now to go get an MBA degree so somebody else can tell me how much I can make. That sounds crazy to me. So I spent, a little bit on this, getting this business started, that I have exponentially unlimited amount that I can potentially earn. I don't have anybody telling me how much you're going to get paid. So I definitely believe in it to where, I'm like, I'm not going the traditional path anymore. So yeah, I think that's just
Yeah,
the way it makes more sense.
yeah, and I'll just say it: the traditional path no longer works. I mean, it just doesn't.
Right.
We've been taught from the time we're a kid. You got to go to school, get good grades, go to college, go into deep debt to get a college degree, and then go be an employee at a corporation for 30 to 40 years at a job you're probably not going to like, where you spend the majority of your time away from your family, not doing the things you care about. And then if you're lucky, maybe you can get some kind of pension someday or retire, when you're 70 years old, when your best years are behind you. That's what we're told, but that's no longer true. With the internet, with some of the skills you can learn to create income from home, that model, that traditional model, is dead. It doesn't work anymore. And it's learning skills like this or other skills out there that are going to help people get ahead.
Yeah, no, when I hear people talking about, when you saying, going to a job you hate and doing all these things, man, it makes me cringe, man. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely hope out there. I appreciate you coming on, Steve. It's been really good. Do you have any final thoughts or anything that, maybe I didn't cover you think people might want to know that maybe considering doing something like this?
No, not really. I mean, here's a thought that a bit random, but we're talking about providing value to people and serving people. And here's an example of some of the principles we teach. I know you do, is to, for example, if you're into affiliate marketing, that's where you promote someone else's products or services through a funnel. You provide so much value, extra value, that it makes it ridiculous to go to the company's website and purchase it, as opposed to coming through your affiliate link, through your funnel. And I know I'm one of a couple of your funnels. The software we use is called ClickFunnels, and you would be insane to go straight to ClickFunnels and sign up when they could go through your affiliate link and get some of the bonuses that you have. And so I don't know what prompted me to say all that, but I guess that's what I would leave people with is if you're interested, go check out Sean's website, salesfunnelpromo.com, I think is the link, if I got that right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I mean, it's all about adding value. Exactly right. Because, I don't want to give I don't want to take money from anybody that I wouldn't want to, have taken from me. And I want to provide value that I think would be valuable. If I'm going to put my money into something, then I'm pretty sure most people probably would, because I'm pretty, I don't want to say tight, it's really not the right word, but I'm pretty frugal. I'm pretty careful about what I get into and about the decisions I make when it comes to money, because, it's right now, since I'm not really totally in control of how much I make, it's got its limitations. So,
right.
Well, cool. No, I appreciate those final thoughts. Is there any way that, people might be able to get in touch with you?
Sure. I mean, one of the businesses I work for now that I work with is Jerry Robinson over at followthemoney.com. So you can find out more about some of the things we do over there, but, I really have nothing to promote or anything. So followthemoney.com is where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate coming on, but I am going to put you on the spot just for a quick second, since you're my coach. Would it be all right if if maybe we recorded, bits and pieces of the future sessions that we have, just kind of give people a little taste of, what's going on behind the scenes?
Oh yeah, that would be totally fine. I have no problem with that at all.
Cool. Maybe we can get you back on here in a future episode too.
Oh, I would look forward to that a lot.
All right, Steve, it's been a pleasure, buddy. I appreciate you coming, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Bet. Take care.
You bet. Take care.
So there you have it. That's basically what a funnel business is, kind of that business model, what it's all about, kind of how it works. It's really exciting to me because, like I said before, I wanted a business that I could operate from anywhere. This business gives me that opportunity to do that. Makes income from online, so it doesn't matter where in the world I'm at or what time of the day it is. It can work. Steve mentioned a platform called ClickFunnels. It is the platform that I currently have, and what Steve is using to coach me with as well. So what I want to do is I'll put in a link to that for those of you that want to try that. I'll give you a 14-day free trial link that you can try out, just to kind of get in there and see what it's all about and see if it may be something that works for you. There's lots of other platforms out there as well, but I'm going to put the link to that in the show notes today if you're interested in seeing what ClickFunnels is all about. If you have any questions about it, feel free to email. You can email me at sean@purposedrivenfunnels.com. And I still got access to Steve, because he's still my coach, so we can get you the answers that you want. If I'm not able to help you, I can pull Steve in, and we can get some help from him. So, anyways, Steve has been extremely helpful to me in the process of starting my business. In fact, it was Steve that encouraged me to even start this show in the first place. He thought it would be a good idea just to put my story out there in front of everybody, and maybe bring some encouragement to you guys, because I'm just an average guy like you, trying to start a business and control my financial future and my time, and so I can spend more time with my family. So I just want to give a big shout out to Steve. Thanks, Coach. So if you haven't done it yet, be sure to subscribe to the Purpose Driven Funnel Show so you don't miss any episodes. I'm going to have some more great guests coming up on the show real soon. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get in touch with Jerry Robinson himself, try to get him on the show so we can get his expertise in the area of creating online income. So if you do like the show, please rate and review it so we can get the word out to the community. It really means a lot to me. I do read all the comments. They matter a lot to me because I want to know what you guys are interested in, what you like, what you don't like. So as always, thanks for joining me, and until next time, I'm wishing you success on your purpose-driven business journey. God bless.